If one day the sky tore open and an entity bearing the unparalleled power of a god descended upon Earth, how would humanity react? Would we fall to our knees and worship him as an omnipotent savior? Or would we tremble in fear before an alien threat capable of wiping out an entire civilization with a single snap of his fingers? In a naked world filled with suspicion, jealousy, and selfishness, that God did not choose to rule. He chose to don a red cape, wear the symbol of eternal hope on his chest, and stand ready to give his life to protect humanity. The very people who always looked at him with judging, wary eyes. That is Superman, the proud Kal-El of planet Krypton, and also the gentle boy Clark Kent from the peaceful countryside of Smallville. Welcome, brothers, to the Sci-Fi Movie Addicts Space Station. Today, let's open the epic dossier on the greatest superhero of all time. How ultimate is the power of this son of Krypton, and how grand was the arduous journey from a lonely exile to becoming the great beacon of justice for the DC universe. Get yourselves mentally prepared to enter a heroic epic chapter right now. To begin the story of the saving God, we must turn back time and search through the ashes of Krypton, a planet located far, far away from Earth. This place was once home to a race possessing a peak civilization with advanced technology, capable of manipulating genetics and colonizing the universe. However, ultimate arrogance led them to self-destruction when they frantically exhausted the planet's core, bringing the entire structure of Krypton to the brink of exploding. Amidst a mechanical feudal society where every child born was pre-programmed with a destiny and social role via artificial incubators, Kal-El appeared as a miracle. He was the first child in centuries born through natural methods, carrying the pure bloodline of love. Even more shockingly, to preserve the last shred of hope for their race, his father Jor-El secretly implanted the entire Codex, the genetic code containing the embryos of the entire Kryptonian species, directly into the cells of his baby son. As Krypton began to fracture and molten lava erupted, swallowing every city, a ship of destiny was launched into space. It was a painful yet glorious moment when Jor-El and his wife, Lara, accepted death, sending their only son into the uncharted void of space in hopes that he would live. The ship, carrying the final spark of Krypton, crossed millions of light years, streaked across the night sky, and landed in the peaceful land of Smallville, Kansas. Here, fate smiled upon Kal-El when he was found and raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent, a poor but kind-hearted farming couple. They named him Clark Kent, teaching him how to be a human before teaching him how to be a god, wrapping him in a simple family love that possessed the power to shape the character of a future savior. Even so, Clark Kent's upbringing was a series of intense internal conflicts as he stood at the crossroads of two fathers, two different ideals. His adoptive father, Jonathan Kent, out of boundless love and a deep understanding of society's cruelty, always strictly taught Clark to hide his godlike powers. He understood that the world was not ready to accept him, and humanity's suspicion and fear could destroy the life of his beloved son. Conversely, his biological father Jor-El, through the remaining memory data systems, awakened in him the proud pride of Kryptonian blood. Jor-El guided him to look forward, urging him to step into the light to become a beacon of ideals, a grand symbol guiding humanity toward better things. It was the perfect harmony between Jonathan's deeply human caution and Jor-El's grand, cosmic mission that helped Clark Kent overcome his loneliness and understand the burden of power, ready to step onto the journey of becoming the Man of Steel, protecting humanity. To understand Superman's unique, unparalleled status in the superhero world, we need to dissect his ultimate power dossier, a power verging on the divine, yet rooted in a pure science fiction concept. The root of this Kryptonian sun's strength does not come from magic. It lies in the unique biological structure of his body. When he set foot on Earth, under the radiance of the yellow sun, the cells in Clark Kent's body operated like a system of massive biological nuclear reactors. They absorbed, converted, and stored solar radiation with absolute efficiency, turning him into a source of endless, living energy. It was this yellow sun that activated unprecedented superpowers, which, under the red sun of his former homeland, Krypton, he would never have possessed. From that great biological reactor, an invincible skill set was born, making Superman the terror of all evil forces. First is limitless muscle strength, allowing him to easily lift oil rigs weighing hundreds of thousands of tons and move colossal structures without breaking a single drop of sweat. Going hand in hand with strength is terrifying speed. Taking flight, Superman easily tears through the atmosphere, breaking the sound barrier in the blink of an eye, and can even accelerate close to the speed of light when traveling through outer space. Even more fearsome is a perfectly invulnerable body. His skin and bone density are so resilient that all man's man-made weapons, from cannonballs and shoulder-fired missiles to the most advanced hydrogen and nuclear bombs, drop away like harmless dust upon impacting him. And whenever a long-range attack is needed, the Man of Steel's eyes glow red, unleashing twin heat vision beams compressed with immense energy, capable of melting any matter at a dense temperature hotter than the surface of the sun. Not stopping at direct combat capabilities, Superman's senses and respiratory system also reach superhuman levels. His transcendent hearing is so acute that it can filter out and hear a desperate cry for help or an abnormal heartbeat from half a world away, amidst the world's countless noises. His vision not only sees for thousands of miles, but also integrates X-rays scanning capabilities, peering through any thickness of matter to locate a target, with lead being the only material that can block his gaze. Additionally, an extraordinary lung capacity allows Superman to create superhuman gusts of breath, generating freeze-breath blizzards in an instant, powerful enough to extinguish the most ferocious, destructive fires or freeze giant monsters solid. However, creation is always fair, as even an omnipotent god like Superman must possess fatal weaknesses. The most famous physical weakness is kryptonite, radioactive fragments from his exploded homeworld. This green mineral emits radiation that directly ravages his solar-absorbing cells, causing him to lose his strength and suffer ultimate pain like a mortal at death's door. Next is magic, a source of energy that does not follow standard physical laws and can bypass his invulnerable defenses. But perhaps Superman's greatest weakness and most profound burden lies in a psychological factor, also known as the world of cardboard syndrome. Living among fragile humanity, Clark Kent constantly battles internally to limit and restrain his own power in every handshake, every step, or every breath. He carries a constant fear that if he loses control for even a single second, that divine strength will accidentally hurt or shatter the small world he deeply loves and devotes himself to protecting. Stepping into the light with his proud red cape, Superman's journey was not a road paved with roses, but a series of brutal trials where his trust and ideals were constantly placed on the launching pad of skepticism. The first chapter in that epic series was the life or death confrontation with General Zod during the Man of Steel event. When Zod arrived with a mad ambition to terraform Earth into a new Krypton, Clark Kent was accidentally pushed into a grim dilemma. He was forced to make the most brutal choice of his life: either side with humanity to protect weak human beings, or collude with Zod to resurrect his own Kryptonian race. The grand battle turned Metropolis's skyscrapers into rubble, and in the fateful moment when Zod prepared to use his heat vision to incinerate an innocent family, Clark made the ultimate decision. The decisive snap of Zod's neck was not only the sole salvation for Earth at that exact moment, but it was also Clark's heartbreaking cry inside the ruined station. By taking down his last fellow countryman, he personally buried the past of his homeworld, officially accepting the fate of a great solitary traveler, a permanent adopted son of Earth. Yet, that salvation did not bring Superman peace. Instead, it stirred a smoldering wave of fear in humanity's heart, leading to the dark events of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Humans, out of a natural self-defense instinct against things beyond their comprehension, began to look at their guardian god with suspicion. The rise of this fear was perfectly represented by a calculating, cunning Lex Luthor and a Dark Knight Batman, obsessed with the ghost of doom. As Superman was dragged down from the altar of an omnipotent god through media and political manipulation, he was forced into a situation where he had to prove his humanity. He did not fight for fame, but the world demanded he answer for the collateral damage his presence brought. The climax was the breathtaking clash between man and God, where Superman accepted bleeding wounds from Batman's kryptonite gas, not to win, but to awaken a misguided hero through his own vulnerability and deep love for humanity. And then, the epic peak of the Man of Steel's grueling journey was the soul-stirring moment of savior-like sacrifice against the beast Doomsday. Created from Lex Luthor's madness, this monster, bearing ultimate destructive firepower, pushed Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman into a corner, realizing that the only thing capable of finishing this creature was the Kryptonite spear, something that would also claim his own life. Superman did not hesitate. He looked at Lois Lane one last time, took the spear, and charged straight toward death. The moment Superman used the Kryptonite spear to pierce the chest of the monster Doomsday and accepted its bone spike piercing through his own heart, the entire space seemed to go silent in shock. He fell when his body no longer had a single ray of yellow solar energy to sustain him. Superman's death was not just a massive loss, the mourning tears of the entire world. That day truly moved hearts, awakening lost faith and human unity, laying the ultimate foundation for the later birth of a Justice League. Although the sacrifice of the Man of Steel left a hollow void in humanity's heart, his ashes became the spark that awakened hope from the depths of death. Realizing the world could not withstand Steppenwolf's invasion without their guardian god, the members of the Justice League risked executing a crazy plan, using advanced apocalypse technology from a mother box to resurrect Kal-El. The process of triggering an electrical current from the Kryptonian ship, combined with unparalleled energy, brought Superman back from the void. However, this rebirth came with a heavy price, as he suffered temporary memory loss, falling into a state of confusion and seeing everyone around him as threats. An uneven battle right at the monument took place, where Superman showcased absolute, overwhelming power, taking on the entire Justice League by himself. He nonchalantly brushed away a fierce Wonder Woman, kicked away a god of the sea like Aquaman, and most iconically, delivered that fateful sideways glance that fully tracked Flash's divine speed within the Speed Force. Humanity once again realized how terrifying this god could be when he lost his moral compass. Fortunately, the darkness in Kal-El's mind was quickly repelled thanks to the appearance of the two most important women in his life, Lois Lane and Martha. The power of love and sacred memories of the Smallville countryside awakened his humanity, bringing back the ego of a true hero in his legendary black suit, the symbol for maximum solar energy absorption after resurrection. Superman made an epic comeback on the Poznan battlefield. Just as Steppenwolf was backing the remaining members into a corner, the savior descended from the sky with ultimate composure. He easily used one hand to catch a full strike from the Apocalypse General's magic axe, blew it away with freezing breath, and snapped it like a toy. Superman's presence immediately decided the outcome of the battle, turning a cosmic fiend into a defeated wreck, officially bringing justice shining brightly back to the entire world. The video concludes the journey section with an epic, eternally symbolic image for the entire DC universe. After wiping out the darkness of the Parademon swarm, Superman slowly soars up into the stratosphere, passing through thick cloud layers to stand face to face with the radiant sun. He spreads both arms, closing his eyes to welcome the pure radiation of yellow sunlight, feeling the biological nuclear energy overflowing and lighting up every single cell in his body. The moment he floats in the vast space, with the deep blue, protected earth below, stands as an ironclad affirmation for the rebirth of a brilliant, glorious, and most hope-filled heroic era that humanity has ever witnessed. Superman is not merely a character stepping out from entertaining comic book pages. He is the gold standard, the greatest benchmark to redefine the entire concept of the words superhero, the core element that makes Superman immortal in the hearts of fans is not that he can lift a massive mountain or possess a flying speed faster than a speeding bullet, but that despite carrying the boundless power of a cosmic god, he humbly chose to live, love, and suffer like an ordinary human being among mortals. What do you brothers think about this guardian god bearing the proud red cape? Between director Zack Snyder's deeply philosophical, gritty, somber, and dark-hand cinematic Man of Steel version and a bright, hope-filled Superman version, in the traditional classic style? Which character building style do you brothers prefer? In the future, when stepping into the revamped DCU universe, will Superman still maintain his supreme, unique position before new dark forces from outer space? Leave your personal opinions along with your sharp analyses. Write down in the comments section so we can deliberate deeper together. Don't forget to fire a powerful heat vision blast at the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to accompany the Sci-Fi Movie Addicts space station. Who will be the next monster or character dossier you brothers want the station to air? Comment right below to let the admin know. Goodbye, and see you brothers in the next epic dossiers.